Let's talk about genocide. How to win any debate. So this, in my view, is the way to win any debate against a genocide denier. So someone who says what's happening in Israel is not, or Gaza is not a genocide. I think in most cases, they're going to be unable to challenge you if you present them with these options. So, if someone is telling you that what's happening right now is not a genocide, ask them to articulate exactly what it would take to make it a genocide. If Israel actually wanted to do a genocide, what would it look like? Ask them to articulate what that would entail. Now, more often than not, if you allow them that level of freedom to answer the question, I think an overwhelming majority of them are going to respond with some cartoonish descriptions, right? They're going to describe something that is very, very sort of extremely overt and obviously genocide, right? So I don't recommend that you simply ask them that question to articulate what it would actually look like if it was a genocide. What I would add to that is constrain them to reality, right? The cartoonish descriptions that they're going to give you, if you don't give this constraint, that's not reality. So give them the constraints of reality. What are those constraints? Constraints are whatever strategy that Israel used, if they wanted to do a genocide, would have to take into account certain realities, like their image, right? The political considerations, the political impact, the sort of, international relations perspective. So what that means is, if they're going to do a genocide, they're going to need to do it in a way that provides them cover. They need to have some way of tricking people into thinking that they're not doing exactly what they're doing, right? The idea of them overtly going out and doing a genocide very aggressively is silly. That's not how things work, right? Whatever action they take, especially if they're doing a genocide, there's a lot of risk of the implications in terms of their standing, as far as globally, right? So they need to do it in a way that is slick, that is deceptive, and that allows them sort of some level of excuse or explanation as to why it's not exactly what it is, exactly what it is. So ask them to articulate that. How would Israel do a genocide, taking into consideration the reality of that they would have to do it in a deceptive way that, provides them cover. So whatever they do, they would need to have some level of excuse. If someone says, you're doing a genocide, they would need to say, no, it's not a genocide, and they need to have something. They got to have because of X, because of Y. If you ask the person to, again, articulate what an actual genocide, if you don't think it's a genocide, articulate what a genocide would actually look like and constrain them to reality, which means they need to be slick about it, right? So whatever they suggest would have to incorporate multiple levels of deception, right? So they can be able to say, no, it's not genocide. It's not genocide because X and Y and Z. So they would need to both point out how they're actually doing the genocide. So what actions are they taking that's leading to removing all or a majority of people from that area, removing them, killing them. How do they actually accomplish that specific task of, the mass murders / mass relocation? And how do they do it in a way that provides cover? So what the deceptive tactics would they utilize, right? So more than likely, they're going to be unable to present this scenario. They're going to be unable to answer the question. So they're going to dodge the question. They're going to deflect. They're going to try to change the topic, or they're going to ignore the constraints and give you a cartoonish view of something like, they could just nuke all of Gaza, or, they could just, instead of all this time going back and forth, in a week, they could wipe out pretty much all of Gaza. If they just straight up, like just bomb, like literally indiscriminately. So just like, like, no pun intended, like the idea of mowing the lawn, right? So when you're mowing the lawn, you don't go piece here, piece there, piece somewhere else. You're just going to go, consistently section to section, like this row, the next row, the next row. Like they're going to suggest that they would bomb Gaza in that manner instead of, this location, some other location, some other location. Like it's going to be a sort of more, again, overtly so. But that's ridiculous. Israel would never do that. That would be foolish, because if they did it in that way, it would be extremely obvious that it's genocide. Many people who are denying it's genocide, many of them would not be denying it if they were doing it so overtly so, right? So, again, ask them to articulate this, constrain them to the reality of the political implications, and contrast what they come up with, and most likely they won't come up with much. They'll refuse to answer or something, but contrast that with what's actually happening. I think there'll be a difficulty if someone gives a good faith attempt to answer the question. There is going to be a little bit of a challenge in contrasting what they come up with what's actually happening right now. If you guys attempt to do this, please comment below and let me know the results. I'll be curious to know if you were successfully able to win a debate against somebody who is denying that genocide is actually happening in Gaza. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.